In 2018, actual fucking scientific researchers from the psych department at the University of Illinois took it upon themselves to answer the age-old question, are dogs racist? Incontrovertibly, irrefutably, and unfortunately, the answer is yes. While many of the canines that were sampled in the study were shown to have prejudices against specific racial groups, the researchers of the study want to stress that dogs are not born with these innate preferences. Rather, they are the result of their white owners who have, quote, conscious or unconscious attitudes towards other races which the dogs then imitate, unquote. Whilst cultural and biological anthropologists continue to argue over whether or not dogs are just being gaslit into bigotry, or if indeed there really is such a thing as toxic canininity, dogs themselves also experience discrimination, both from the humans who adopt them and even from each other. This very real phenomenon is known as black dog syndrome. According to science, which as we all know is never ever wrong, humans first domesticated the dog from a shared ancestor of today's wolf some 10,000 years ago in what is now Western Europe. Initially a parasitic, then a more symbiotic relationship whereby the lethal creatures were allowed to coexist with us in exchange for acting as alarm systems, over time the bond between man and dog has developed into something almost spiritual. Well, the bond between some men and some dogs.
哪个胃吗？
这个不是胃，这个是肠，
哦，OK，
很好吃，最好吃是这个，
OK，one at a time
好吃哦，真的。
This is Theo. Theo is a 3-month-old purebred Dalmatian puppy, or at least that's what his immigration papers say. He likes chicken, he likes running next to things, and he has an approximate lifespan of 12 to 15 years. Despite being named after a geographic and historical region of modern-day Croatia, the Dalmatians are likely to be a lot older, tracing their lineage back even as far as ancient Egypt, proving once and for all that just because somebody says they're from somewhere doesn't mean you should necessarily trust them. Rumour has it that there was a famous Croatian writer in medieval times who bred the puppies, which he had actually acquired from gypsies, and spread them all over Europe, sending them to the houses of various notable lords and ladies in an attempt to curry favour. This ultimately earned the Dalmatian their name, as well as their reputation for protecting rich dickheads, which persists to this day. Later, they would become a carriage dog for wealthy people, a firehouse mascot, and a lovable series of cartoon characters popularized by base animator Walt Disney. Cool dog, bro, but what does this have to do with humans, or indeed racism, I hear you ask? Well, more than you might think. Like their human counterparts, dogs need a purpose, a job, if you will. Without one, much like a person, a dog can quickly fall into the petty traps of nihilism, despair, and racist internet shitposting.
Alright, shopping list. Bread, milk, pasta, eggs, mayo, cocaine. Just kidding.
Unlike human beings, however, whose racial groups are not typically linked to specific occupations, dogs are genetically hardwired to enjoy the things that they were bred to do. The sheepdog lives to herd, the greyhound to race, the pitbull to fight.
Daisy! Listen, before we leave, we gotta have that talk, okay? You a pit bull, which means people are gonna label you a monster the minute they lay eyes on you. You can't be out here in these streets acting a goddamn fool like these chihuahuas because you don't get no second chances. You always gotta be on your best behavior, and I know that's hard, okay? And people are going to make up lies about you and say that you have a locked jaw and you were born to be dangerous. You're going to see mothers picking up their kids and walking across the street and or around the cars, and that's okay. I want you to remain humble and hold your head up high and know that you the shit. You can't help that people are ignorant. All you can do is do your best and know that you are the most amazing dog in the whole entire world, and I will do everything in my power to make sure that you make it to your 3rd birthday, okay? Mama loves you. Grab your things and let's go to daycare.
The analogy between pit bulls and blacks here is kind of genius, and this lady makes some compelling points. But the pit bull was bred with the express purpose of killing other dogs. If raised without strong, stable authority figures, a pit bull will quite literally rip a random person's face off for no reason whatsoever. Some pit bulls are so beyond reform that unfortunately they do need to be shot in the back of the head, but this fault rarely lies with the dog, rather it is the direct result of poor breeding and or irresponsible ownership. In fact, if bred correctly with the selection towards docility and humans, the pit bull can be rehabilitated. But does the same hold true for humans? And how similar can we honestly say that human racial and ethnic groups are to animal subspecies? More importantly, perhaps, what does this mean for the mixing of various subspecies and their potential offspring? Among many canine enthusiasts, the debate between purebred and mixed breed dogs rages on. Purists and fanatics of various breeds argue that tried and tested genetic groups that we are familiar with today will always be better than mongrel or mixed dogs. Advocates of mixing, however, stress that mixed dogs are much likelier to be healthy and happy with longer lifespans. This at first appears to be true, especially when compared to more obviously dysgenic breeds such as those of the toy dog group, which do seem to be plagued with health problems. One-drop rule purists of the toy dog group insist that as long as inbreeding is avoided, it is always better to breed, say, a poodle with another poodle. Whilst this may indeed be the case for working dogs with larger gene pools, it certainly isn't the case for all toy breeds. The pug, for example, cute as he is literally so fucked up that he has problems breathing. The Chihuahua, mentally unstable from birth, is the most likely dog to attack a human, and the Dachshund, poor bastard, can barely walk. This is Napoleon. He is a brand new breed called the French Pug Wawa. A composite of the French Bulldog, the Mexican Chihuahua, and the Chinese Pug. He is 7 years old, and his vets anticipate he is likely to reach the ripe old age of 20. He has no health problems. Meanwhile, Theo's breed is prone to deafness at birth and urinary tract issues later in life. Whereas many Dalmatian breeders have worked tirelessly to remove these genes, others have not, and insist that any mixing away from pure Dalmatian stock would discount the dogs as being actual Dalmatians. Take the Labradoodle, for example, a common cross of the Labrador and Poodle. The Labradoodle is likely to be healthier than a poodle, but it is unlikely to be as fulfilled, well-tempered, and well-adjusted to living alongside humans as the Labrador, a breed that is so specialized at human assistance that it can literally help blind people cross the street. Perhaps more eugenic breeds should be preserved, whereas unhealthy breeds with complications should be intermixed with each other in order to create more robust and stable forms of life. Of course, perhaps those breeds should not reproduce at all. You can't really tie this back to human beings without violating YouTube's terms of service, but I think you get my point. Ultimately, we can learn a lot from the dogs that we share society with and the cultures that create them. I find it at least interesting that the Belgian Malinois and German Shepherd share a similar genetic distance as that of between a Belgian and German human. It is also interesting that black people in America culturally resonate with the Pitbull, a breed that was specifically chosen for its strength and docility. It is interesting that the Chinese breeds, such as the Shih Tzu, Chow Chow, and Pug, are small enough to fit into a household oven. Ultimately, who decides what is dysgenic and what is eugenic? Perhaps the pug, the proverbial bug man of the dog world, will be the only dog that is able to coexist alongside humans in the cramped, high-rise, smart cities of the future. Then again, perhaps it's quite obvious which dogs are healthy and which dogs are sick.